Is it important for NATO to have a host country like Belgium to really organize the operations in Europe across the world?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to bring people from all 32 nations together, folks who are in our integrated command structure and national representatives. And it's only when those nations have a place that they can gather and work together that we're able to do the sorts of things that we do across the alliance.
Yeah. 32 countries working together, but maybe one of the most turbulent periods of NATO. A lot is happening in the world, in Europe. What is your look on your view on that?
You know, the security situation around the globe is certainly one that is challenging, more challenging than I've seen over the course of my military career. We have challenges in the Pacific, in the Middle East, and of course here in Europe, and all those things are coming together at the same time. This is why Europe's stepping up in the way they are, and Canada's stepping up in the way they are to spend more on their defense and invest and take the lead for primary responsibility of the conventional defense here in Europe is so important. It'll make a much more healthy alliance in the long term. And it's bringing, again, all those capabilities together from North America and here in Europe will allow us to handle this very complex situation.
Yeah, you're saying Europe and Canada are stepping up. Meanwhile, there are also questions about the United States withdrawing troops from Europe. How do we have to see this? Are the United States still a partner?
Yeah, I'm an American and I'm right here, right? So I think there's no doubt that the United States is committed to the alliance. Ambassador Whitaker, our representative to NATO, has constantly talked about the commitment of the United States ironclad to Article 5. And I would just tell you, as all the political turbulence happens at the military level, which is where I operate, relationships are solid, our cooperation is solid, and no one should get any idea that we're not ready for whatever's coming our way from a security perspective.
Then why are the United States withdrawing those troops?
The United States is always looking at its global force posture, global power with global responsibilities. As I said, it's a very complex world with challenges in other regions as well. And frankly, as Europe builds its capacity, the United States is able to reposture. So European and Canadian leaders help the United States look after our interests here. The United States, working with other allies and partners, some of them European, some from other regions, are looking after interests elsewhere.
The eastern border in Europe, really turbulent for the moment. Recently we had some drones that flew into Romania. They got some people wounded right there. What's happening there? Are we prepared to take those drones down?
Yeah, first off, I just want to express my concern for the safety of the folks that were injured and wishing them a speedy recovery in Romania. I was immediately briefed on the situation. I've talked to the Romanian Chief of Defense and their Minister of Defense. I know Secretary General Ruda has reached out at his level as well. We're constantly looking at, do we have the right defensive capabilities in the right place across the alliance? And in fact, that's one of the things we were doing here today at SHAPE in the background, is working on looking for capabilities provided by nations that we could move to reinforce ourselves in certain areas. We're also working very closely with the Romanians as they robust up their own defensive capabilities and assisting with that defense design. So I'm confident that we're able to handle true military threats. There will be from time to time drones that unfortunately are able to slip through.
That's collateral damage, I hear you say?
I wouldn't say it's collateral damage. I say it's very concerning, reckless behavior by the Russians that allows this to happen. It's something that I would encourage them not to do, to be more careful, to fly further away from the alliance's borders, and we'll respond as necessary.
Then how is it possible that those drones can even wound people? How are we not taking them down?
So I can't get into the military tactics with you. I'll just say, very short distance from the Romanian border to where that was, a populated area. You probably wouldn't want an F-16 shooting down a drone over that populated area and now having 2 missiles hit the ground, potentially causing more injuries. Split-second decisions that are required in those instances. I think the crews did the right thing. Unfortunately, the Russians did not and let that drone come into that airspace.
The last days and weeks we see some escalating operations in the Ukraine-Russia war. Today St. Petersburg is burning as well. Do you find that disturbing?
We're watching it very closely. We're fully supportive of the push for peace that President Trump has been working on since he took office. We're committed to getting this war to an end. Across the alliance, of course, we're continuing to support the Ukrainians in their own defense. There have been some significant attacks on Kyiv lately with a lot of civilian injuries. That's not the kind of war that I would fight.
With hypersonic rockets as well?
There's a lot of capabilities that the Russians are using when they can, but you know they're not winning on the front lines. They're taking tremendous losses, and their territorial gains are basically nil right now. So, you know, I think it's far past time to bring this war to a close.
You feel like these are moves from a losing side, that Russia is panicking?
I'll let you ask the Russians that. We've seen periods of escalation like this before. I'm not sure what it means yet, but we're watching it closely.
Yeah, because some people are worried that Russia, after Ukraine, might attack a NATO member state.
They better not do it on my watch.
You saw our Prime Minister today, talked about him, but you said you were disappointed that he came alone.
That's right. I missed Maximus. I was hoping to get a personal engagement with Maximus, but I guess it'll wait till I go up to visit him.
But you know Maximus. How do you know him?
I have a lot of Belgian officers on my staff who kept me well apprised of Maximus.
Okay, but I heard you had the chance, you will receive the chance to meet him at Wedstrijd 16.
The Prime Minister has extended the invitation, and I absolutely intend to take him up on it. You bet.